Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and if you are a user of Linux, you might have to verify your age at some point in the near future when you install an update to your operating system. That's because a new California law that was signed into law recently by Governor Gavin Newsom says that all operating systems, presumably including Linux, need to have some form of age verification during account setup. And California here is not the only state trying to force applications and operating systems to verify the ages of their users. Texas is doing it as well, although the Texas law was recently shot down. And what we're going to do in this video is take a look at this age verification issue. First of all, whether or not an open source organization is going to have to comply with that law, because many Linux distributions are not made by companies, but rather organizations. And we'll also look at other efforts in other states to try and figure out the ages of users of operating systems along with applications. Let's get to it. Now, before we dive into this week's topic, I do want to let you know that this video is being brought to you by all of you. That includes everyone who watches and subscribes to the channel on a regular basis, along with those of you who have contributed to the channel, either through my donor box page at Lon.TV/support, through Patreon, the YouTube membership program, or Floatplane. And of course, we've got the YouTube super thanks down there as well. Every little bit helps here keep the lights on and draw attention to these important issues. Now, let's get into this week's topic. So why don't we dive into the text of the California bill and see what this is all about. This bill was signed into law on October 13th, 2025. It takes effect on January 1st of 2027. So presumably all of these operating system developers have time to implement some kind of solution, but it's now the law of the land in California. And what it calls for is an accessible interface at the time of account setup that requires the account holder to indicate the birth date, age, or both of the user of that device for the purpose of providing a signal regarding the user's age bracket to applications available in a covered app store. By operating system provider, they mean a person or entity that develops, licenses, or controls the operating software on a computer, mobile device, or any other general purpose computing device. So in other words, they're saying even an independent developer making a Linux distro is under the law here, and they need to comply with it, although they would have to have some kind of California nexus, I believe, to have that law enforced. They also define what a covered application store is. This means a publicly available internet website, software application, online service, or platform. You could even say a package manager might fall into this, even something you might use over the command line. So it's very far-reaching here, and it's about distributing the applications that you might install on an operating system. They also say that a covered application store does not mean an online service or platform that distributes extensions, plugins, add-ons, or other software applications that run exclusively within a separate host application. And really, at the end of the day, when you look at all of this, this is very much theater. And the reason is that they're not doing anything to take a picture of the user or anything other than having the user just volunteer their age. And of course, any kid installing an operating system that wants to install software will just lie about their age and move on to the next step. So at the end of the day, this doesn't really accomplish much, but at least it gives politicians the ability to say, hey, we did something to try to prevent kids from installing software that they shouldn't. And what they want to do here is develop a standard so that every operating system generates a signal, and every application will look to the operating system signal for that user's age to figure out if that user can use the application or not. So at the moment, it doesn't involve anything beyond just the volunteering of your birth date, but it's not far to stretch here that perhaps the law could be modified in the future to require more stringent biometrics. So in the meantime, though, what they're going to do is have 4 categories of ages that the operating system would look for. So the first category is under 13, and this, of course, would be subject to the federal privacy laws for children, the only federal privacy laws we have here in the United States. The second looks at ages 13 to 16, the third 16 to 18, and then D, 18 years of age or greater, which I predict every kid will be selecting item D when they're setting up their computer. But what happens if an operating system maker is found in violation of the law? Well, there are 2 different types of civil penalties they could encounter. The first one is a negligent violation of the law, and that would result in a $2,500 fine per affected child. If they intentionally violate the law, it is $7,500 per affected child. I don't know how they're going to come up with the number of impacted kids, but you can pretty much count on it being a lot more than just one child. And so I could see the state of California bringing lawsuits against operating systems that are maybe popular with kids if they don't ask for the age upon account installation. Now, they do, of course, provide an out that if you do have a system of collecting the ages of your users, they will consider that a good faith effort to comply with the law, and you'll likely not be liable here. So a lot of operating system makers may just decide to put that question on the account setup page just to avoid the ire of the California Attorney General. But the law goes on to say, though, that even with that form being on the account setup page, if a developer has internal, clear, and convincing information that a user's age is different than the age indicated by the signal received pursuant to this title, the developer shall use that information as the primary indicator of the user's age. And if they don't, they are subject to civil penalties from the California Attorney General. So what is the impact of this going to be on Linux distributions? Remember, this is not a concept any longer. This is the law of the land in California, and it will take effect on January 1st. After that date, if you are a sponsor of a Linux distribution and your distribution is not collecting date of birth from its users, you might be subject to that intentional civil penalty. And my fear is that there's a lot of Linux distributions out there that are run by a handful of people that have no resources or organizations behind it. They could very well go after individuals here, especially if you're not a nonprofit organization that sometimes can exclude its members from liability. So there's some serious implications here. Now, one distribution has already changed its license to exclude California residents effective on January 1st of 2027. However, that might not be enough for the California Attorney General, because they could argue that if the downloads are accessible to California residents, you're essentially doing business in California and we can go after you. So just changing your license terms might not be enough. You might have to figure out a way to exclude your operating system from being used in California and not just change the license. But there are some distributions that will most likely have to comply with this law. One, of course, is Ubuntu, the very popular Linux distro that I like quite a bit. They are a corporation, they're a company, they do business in California. So they likely will find themselves having to implement this. I did reach out to Ubuntu to see if they are going to. I haven't heard back yet, but I'll update if they do. Another one is Fedora, which is owned, of course, by Red Hat, which is a private company. It's an IBM subsidiary. They will likely have to implement something on the Fedora side, given that there is a nexus to California. In the case of Fedora, Red Hat is headquartered in the state, so I would expect them having to do it when the law takes effect. But there's some least likely scenarios here. If we look at Debian or Arch Linux or Linux Mint, these are all sponsored by organizations that fund their operations, but that organization that's sponsoring could be held liable. The people who develop the operating systems could be held liable. And of course, a lot of young people install these distributions on their computers to get away from some of the privacy issues associated with Windows. So this is going to be a very difficult law to enforce. I could see California going after some of these organizations to make an example out of them and try to force them to put the date collection form on there. And at the end of the day, many Linux distros might just say, you know what, we'll just stick it on there. It's not like we're going to send the data back to another organization, and we'll just call it a day and say that we're complying with the law. So we'll have to see how this all plays out here. And it's not just California that is implementing this. There are other states that have been making efforts in this area. So for example, Colorado is looking at an age verification at the operating system level right now. But it's not just blue states implementing this kind of regulation. In Texas, they passed a law requiring age verification on app stores, not on the operating systems. But there, the law is currently on hold. It was signed by the governor, but they were taken to federal court, and a court said that the law as written currently violates First Amendment rights of the residents of Texas because of its sweeping application, and that the law was applied to all apps regardless of content and was not narrowly tailored to the state's interest in mitigating the alleged mental and physical health effects of mobile app usage. So Texas might lose that case, they could win it, or they could go back and try to make the law a little more narrow but still require some form of age verification on app stores. And really, without a federal law here regulating privacy on the internet, states are going to be all over the place on this. I know my home state of Connecticut is currently looking at some types of controls for minors on the internet, and every state is looking at this. Every state is looking at things a little differently than the next one, and without some federal law that kind of sets the baseline here, things are kind of the wild, wild west when it comes to these types of laws that might restrict people. And whenever I hear about these regulatory efforts by states, I think about this quote from John Gilmore from the early days of the internet, where he said, "The net interprets censorship as damage and routes around it." And there's no better example than Discord's efforts to try to get ahead of laws. Now, Discord's plan was to require users to take a video selfie of themselves or submit a copy of a government-issued ID to verify their age. They later said that not every user would have to do this because they have behavioral signals from users to kind of guess at what their ages might be. That, of course, alarmed people as well because these companies are collecting all sorts of identifiable information about us and using it in ways that we didn't necessarily consent to when we signed up. And the result of Discord's actions here to create this age verification system was the loss of users and the loss of trust. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, having to comply with laws like California and Texas, but also trying to protect user privacy. What a lot of users did was they bolted off the platform. And this article here on the Tech Buzz said that users were exploring Revolt, Guilted, and other open source alternatives. Another one that I heard quite a bit about was Matrix. It works a lot like Discord, but is self-hosted in some areas or can be decentralized in a way that it's not under the control of any one particular corporation. You could presumably host it in a state or country that does not have the same regulations as the country you're living in. There's a lot of ways to get around these laws, and what's been amazing is just how good these open source alternatives have become. They're very hard to get user bases to because people are just happy with the default, which are these commercial services like Discord, YouTube, and others, but they're out there and they're pretty good. So in addition to Matrix, which I haven't played with yet, we have Discord, of course, which is a Twitter Threads kind of alternative. And then there's PeerTube, which is an amazing platform for video distribution that works a lot like YouTube, can be completely self-hosted, it can federate itself, it does peer-to-peer data transfers for the videos that people are watching. It's amazingly good. And I haven't even looked at it in like a year and a half, but I did a video on PeerTube a little while ago, and I was impressed back then. It's even better now. They've got mobile apps and all sorts of good stuff. The problem they all have, though, is they are complex to set up. Due to how they federate among different servers, it can be a little complex for users. But there are some great alternatives out there that could fill a void should these regulations get too strict. And it also shows just how hard it will be to regulate this kind of stuff when people can just spin up their own thing and get off of these corporate platforms that might be subject to more strict regulations. So that is what's going on here. If this law doesn't get paused, I fully expect that many Linux distributions will just add the birth date question to their operating systems when you first log into them. Harder to implement, though, will be developing that standard for having that age submitted to the operating system carry through to package managers and app stores and everything else. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but from the reading of the law here, Linux distros are not exempt from it. So this is going to be a very trying time for the open source community, and a lot of it depends on how far California is willing to go to enforce this law. That will do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.